My favorite thing, if you look at their history of games they've done music for, right? Mm-hmm. You got Costello Protocol, which I can't actually remember the music for that. Can you? Was that good?
Yeah, the Callisto Protocol.
Sorry, yes. What did I say? Did I say it wrong? Yeah, the Callisto Protocol.
Wait a minute. The Callisto Protocol had music?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, I was just reading it. I was like,
I can't remember that. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. Are you well?
Yes, I am quite well. Very well, indeed, actually.
How so? Why are you very well? It's good to hear, but how come you are so very well this fine evening?
I'm not the only one, though. You're quite well, too. It's because we've been blessed by Bethesda Softworks with two yummy games.
I think it's the first time I've heard something yummy for games. How yummy. What a delicious treat.
Demons from Hell, tasty.
Toasty, right? Toasted, the way you like them, just like...
toasty, so much better. Yes. This week, we got gifted the review codes for two of Bethesda Softworks' most recent launches, Doom the Dark Ages, and a secret title we'll reveal at the end of this episode that people will most likely already know what it is.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, people are like, Bethesda released a secret title? Like, huh? How does no one else know about this title? I'm sure they probably worked it out themselves. But anyway, we got Doom.
Yes, thank you so much, Bethesda, for this week's episode. Doom! It's the first Doom in 5 years?
Is it really been that long?
Yeah, it's 5 years, yes.
This game and Eternal, right?
It has been that long. I remember Doom Eternal, very funny, launching the same day as Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yes, I remember the crossover type art.
Yes,
right?
There was this bit. It was Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
You know what? Barbenheimer before Barbenheimer.
That's true. I loved that period because those artworks and those crossovers were great. They were so imaginative. I love that stuff.
I was looking at Doom Eternal, and because I'm married, we got Animal Crossing.
Of course. You got it. One for her, one for him, right? That works perfectly.
Yeah.
How it should be.
But yeah, Doom the Dark Ages, not Doom Eternal. The Dark Ages is the one we've got up for this week, and geez, it's one hell of a ride.
Oh, most definitely.
Pun intended.
It's very confusing though because this is the 8th Doom in the franchise.
8th?
It's if you include Doom 1, Doom 2.
Wait, okay, Doom, regular Doom,
yeah.
Doom 2,
yeah,
Doom 64.
Was that Doom? Yeah, that's right. I guess you include that. Yeah.
There's a Doom 64 and the Doom 3.
Yeah, and then there's Doom 2016.
Yes. That's 5.
Doom Eternal, and then...
That's 6.
Okay, I'm lost.
Doom the Dark Ages, that's 7.
Some Dooms must have slipped in there that we didn't know about. That, just came out on other platforms.
There's some rogue Dooms anyway. If anyone sees some Dooms on the floor, we must have dropped them.
Yeah, please return them to Bethesda. There's some rogue Dooms just about. So it's... I didn't know that this was before the 2016 Doom. I thought this was before Doom Eternal because, they're kind of...
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense if you look at the setting and the name of the game.
That's true, I guess. But it's again, I haven't played Doom since the original Doom on the PC and then later on the Game Boy Advance. So I am literally the first.
That blows my mind.
First Doom is literally my Doom. I don't really know much of the others. So it's Doom 2016.
Yes, that was a soft reboot.
It was franchise. A reboot, so that was the first Doom, but redone with new graphics and such like that for the
yes,
latest generation,
it's
right?
2016 and Eternal, and this one making it. Therefore, it's a little trilogy of the new Doom.
Yeah, because there was also Doom 3, right?
But yes,
the
but I mean,
confused the hell out of me. Yeah.
Isn't that was 20 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Was that really 20 years ago?
That was 20 years ago.
Oh, damn, I just showed my age then.
And,
Damn,
funny enough, it's the only Doom where you don't play as the Doomslayer.
Doom 3?
Yes, Doom 3. You're
that's
just a
right,
Marine.
That's right, you're just a Marine. That's
decided
right,
he's not going to die today.
That's right, and that with the Mad Doctor. I do remember Doom 3. I remember watching my brother play it. So, okay, so this is... So, Doom 16 was a modernized version of the original Doom, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm obviously losing you.
No,
either way,
no, it's kind of a continuation, but it's like a brand new chapter.
Okay,
the story still kind of goes on from what it told in the old games.
Okay, just basically the whole premise: badass Doom Slayer type, kicking ass, killing demons.
Yep.
What else do you really need, right, in regards to a Doom game?
Yes.
And it's funny about this game. It's the industry we're in now is that this had 31,000 concurrent players on Steam.
Woo! 31,000. Right? Hell yeah.
But I don't even know if that metric is enough anymore. Right? If you compare it to Fortnite and all that stuff, they're massive numbers. But lots of people are saying that this release was good, but it wasn't great.
What do you mean it wasn't? It was good. They celebrated 30 million copies. 30 million copies sold or claimed, I think. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Was that who sent...
Wait, did I say 30? Jeez, no. 3 million. Excuse me. 3 million.
Say, now, that is a big... that's a large difference. I never know what metric is now successful anymore. I must admit. I know that back in the day, 3 million-ish copies was tons, right? You got platinum awards and all this.
Yes.
Is 3 million good enough to... I generally don't know anymore because you hear other games going into that.
You know what?
Yeah.
In this day and age of modern gaming, the only real metric to know whether a game was good or the launch or financially the game did good or not was whether it made its money back, whether it struck even and is now making a profit. I heard only a couple of months ago that Alan Wake 2 struck even and is now making a profit, whereas something like Expedition 33 struck even and started making a profit day one.
Yeah, no doubt. They sold... Again, small studio, small expenses, and then of course blowing up game. They made a fortune.
I don't think Doom: The Dark Ages was cheap at all.
No, agreed.
So for this, 3 million copies is tons. Yeah. Great stuff. Congratulations, id Software. But whether they made their money back yet, I don't know if that has happened yet or is going to happen anytime soon.
But like you said, if Alan Wake 2 just started making a profit, then Doom Dark Ages has a good chance then, because this game it's not a bad game. It's a good game. It's
I agree.
It's got longevity to it. This isn't one that just goes like Concord or Assassin's Creed Shadows, where it just starts and just farts and goes off into the wind. This game's probably got more legs on it than most.
Yes, because I mean the previous two Doom games had legs. Yeah. It's Software. They know what they are doing.
Yes, of course.
So I can totally imagine that this game goes the distance. Maybe another 4 or 5 years until the next Doom game.
Yeah, agreed. I think it does. And I think that's... lots of people will pick this up. Of course, it will go on sale and stuff like that. So I think the numbers will catch up.
It should.
Anyway, should we jump straight into narrative?
Let's go.
This game, right? Again, really hard thing to... This is probably one of the only Dooms, especially compared to Eternal, actually had a full-on narrative that pulled you through it, right? There was actually a story.
Yes, that is the perfect way of explaining it. A full-on narrative where there are cutscenes. Yeah. It's prominent during the campaign. There's a story with the beginning, middle, and end. Yeah.
Because everything else is just levels of hell in some regards.
Yes,
and you
even
them, right?
Doom 2016 kind of didn't, but did have a story. It wasn't...
Just something on a string to pull you forwards, but nothing substantial for you to remember, right?
Eternal had something more with Satan in there, but this game, Doom: The Dark Ages, the story is front and center, or one of the bits front and center.
Which, and me being a big narrative type of guy, loving a narrative in games is one of the reasons I play them. I enjoyed that. A lot of people were kind of like... hit or miss, I suppose. Lots of people loved Doom Eternal and the just chaotic let me just go into a room and shoot things.
Yes.
So they were a bit put off by the narrative, but I actually enjoyed that. The narrative was fun. I enjoy having something substantial to follow and a reason for doing things, right?
Do you not feel the narrative was a bit shallow?
Yes. But again, when you're comparing it to no narrative, even like a shallow narrative just seems better. But you're right. It's I found the protagonist really boring.
The protagonist, the Slayer.
Yeah. No.
Who doesn't say a single thing.
Antagonist. Sorry, wrong word.
Oh, the antagonist.
Slayer's badass. Love the Slayer. I thought his antagonist was kind of just boring. I thought he looked the least
what was
badass
his name?
of
Azrak?
everything you come across.
Was that his name? Azrak?
Yes. Azrak or something. Yeah, it's always a weird spelling because it's in hell, so it's got to be like biblical or weird looking and stuff like that. Azrak, but he was boring. I thought he was kind of boring. Like all the badass things you kill out there, and you've just got this slender guy who I guess he emanates a bit of mystery and stuff like that. But they
tried to go down the same route that Diablo 4 did.
Oh yeah.
Do you know who's the main antagonist for Diablo 4?
Well, Diablo,
right?
No? Isn't it the devil?
Lilith.
Oh, Lilith. Yes. Okay. Yes. Right? I do remember that. Yes,
just
I do remember that.
This large, slender, sleek, mysterious demon figure.
Slightly sexy. Remember, Lilith is always
slightly.
Sexy.
No.
Completely.
Extremely.
Yeah, right? They always make Lilith hot. Doesn't matter what you're watching, Lilith is always hot.
Lilith is attractive. But anyway, Prince Azrak, I think, was designed in the same vein as what Lilith was back then.
Yeah.
There's clearly some obvious power hidden in this figure, but it's also designed sleek. Right?
Yes, that's right.
It's not this big, bulging, gratuitous monster.
Yeah. But I kind of wanted that.
You did?
I do. You're in hell, right? So in hell, with all the sins and the horrible place it is, there shouldn't really be someone who's like well kept and like nicely make-upped and like all to do type thing. I just want my grotesque, multi-head, blood pumping, gross things, right?
I get it. But does that aura, excuse me for the term, not project someone who is kind of more intelligent than just a blood monster?
I got you. Kind of like the Darth Vader and stuff like that, right? With
someone who kind of stands upright, keeps his chin up in the air.
That fell short for me. That fell short. My favorite character was Creed, the big fat thing, who actually had some depth to his character and stuff like that. I thought he was really cool. Did you like him or not?
The head maker.
Yeah, his name was Creed, right?
I think so, yes. Or his title was, I can't remember.
Oh, okay, that's true.
No, I think my favorite character was Thera.
The lady with the special arm. The only powers,
lady.
Right? Yeah, she was cool. She was a badass too. They got lots of badass characters in here. That adds
How
to
can
the
you
whole
not?
Slayer
This
thing.
is Doom. I don't think people who aren't badass survive.
That's valid. It is hell. It is Doom.
You need to be. This is a requirement. This is Doom. You need to be badass.
And I do love that they, just like Doom 2016 and Eternal, they did make the Slayer a badass. The story, every single moment and every frame of the story, you just think, hell yeah. Like,
hell yeah.
The Slayer,
absolutely.
The Slayer is so cool.
This Doom The Dark Ages, as with Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal before it, is the most hell yeah game to have ever hell yeah.
Yeah, there really is. And he's like, there's every cutscene where you just see him in it, and we don't want to give away any spoilers, but you go, yeah, of course he did. And of course he's too strong for that. Me. And of course he can't be stopped by, potentially dying. He's the Slayer, right? Nothing stops him.
Exactly.
Kind of like
a lot
Kratos,
of people
to
like to joke that Doom is the only game where you play as the final boss.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. That is very true. You are.
Yeah.
And I love how they make everybody kind of scared of him. Like, even the good guys are scared of him.
Yes.
The demons and stuff.
When you walk through soldiers.
Yeah.
They kind of hush each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Hush. Shh. There he is. Keep quiet.
And I just like, even that same energy was in Hell when they were just talking about his appearance on the field or something. You saw the little things cower or sweat and stuff like that. It's great. Like that part of the narrative, who doesn't want to pay? Just a big badass just killing things and everybody being scared.
The aura the Slayer emanates is just drenched in badassity.
It is. And like I say, we don't want to give anything up story-wise too much. You can imagine the story. You just got the Slayer. You got to help fight back the waves of demons trying to invade. I can't remember what the kingdom was, but the Night Sentinels and all the, you're on this, called down by the side of good to help fight them, and then the story, you're just badass and you save people. And the end is particularly badass, but I don't want to spoil that for anyone listening. No. Because
wait a minute, so you finished this game?
I did, yes. But
wow.
I know, but I'll tell you the truth. I may have not completed it on hard. I only did it on normal. I wanted to play it on hard, but I just did it on normal.
I also did normal.
Yeah.
But I only got about 2/3 of the way through this game. I didn't finish it. I very much wanted to play the other game Bethesda Softworks gave us.
But I'll tell you, the game in this, the last boss fight, meh. The ending, hell yeah. Like you're like, oh yeah, come roll on the next tune. We're down. The end of this game is pretty cool. There's no doubt.
That's incredible. I'm so glad. Although I must say there is one thing about the narrative, the story specifically, that peeved me.
Go on.
There is, I don't know if you noticed, you must have, because you're the story guy between us. Each time in the story, something happens, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you find the Heart of Argent, or Prince Azrek finds you and the King Novik, and just something happens.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that these things, and almost everything in the story, happens in your absence.
Oh, that's true. A lot of it does. Yeah, you're not there. That's true.
You're not there. Or you get disposed of quite easily, and this thing happens.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't make sense. You should have been there. There's this one part. I completely forgot, but I think Prince Azrek kind of holds King Novik down. Yeah. And then you arrive, and then he just smacks you off the side.
That's right. When you come to confront him, and he gets blown off the side of the platform. Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah, you're brushed aside. You are kind of brushed aside in that scene.
And it keeps happening.
Yeah, it's true. You are.
It keeps happening. That peeved me. I didn't... True. Because, aren't we the protagonist?
Yes, of course.
Right?
Yeah, I do what you mean. He does get brushed aside quite a lot, and then I guess the reply to that is his tenacity to go back again, because he does, he keeps coming back instead of actually having some sort of story progression. It's just send the Slayer. The Slayer will save us.
Please don't think that I'm trying to say that the Doomslayer needs some sort of character progression. No, there are excellent stories where there's zero character progression from the protagonist.
Yeah.
Like some of my favorite movies, Paddington. Paddington has zero character progression, but he influences the people and the world around him to such a degree, the story turns out amazingly. And that is the same treatment that they should be giving the Doomslayer. Doom needs the Paddington treatment.
I don't think in any sentence on this planet somebody compared Doom to Paddington Bear. That's the craziest comparison I've ever heard. It's great. I get what you mean.
But it's true. Do you understand? You get what I'm trying to say?
I do get what you mean. I get what you mean because, I got you. Paddington affects the world around him, and that's how the story progresses.
Yes,
to some
and
degree,
Paddington has not changed even the slightest from the end of from the beginning to the end of his movies. It's the same Paddington Bear.
That's the craziest. I agree, but I've never heard those two in the same sentence before. But I like it. You're right. Paddington is a bigger badass than the Slayer. There we go. It's been said on this podcast. I agree. Again, we're not playing a Doom game for the story. The story is nice.
Yeah.
To pull you through the stuff. The story is not bad. But But like again, we all know that this is all about just killing demons and
that's it. That really is,
killing more
and
demons.
They don't try to hide the fact.
No, they don't.
They're
not trying to make a visual like a God of War or something like that. They're just trying to pull you through.
It's actually so profound because the demons are a metaphor for blah 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 blah. No. From the very start, id Software has been completely transparent in saying rip and tear.
They're just things for you to kill. They're things to pull apart, to slaughter. Do your badass shit too. That's true.
Yeah.
Anything else narratively you want to talk about?
I just want to say, I think this, out of the 3 modern Doom games we have, this might be my favorite setting.
Oh, okay.
The first one, Doom 2016, the majority took place on Mars.
Yeah, like the original, or the whole...
I forgot where Doom Eternal took place.
I have no idea. It looked... Again, everything's red. It's in Doom games, it's red, so you always presume Mars. In Doom, it's red-ish.
Yeah, Doom 2016 took place on Mars. Definitely. Doom Eternal took place in red. And Doom the Dark Ages. I really, really, really like the way the fantasy elements tie to the sci-fi setting.
Right? That is a very cool combo. Right?
It is.
Literally the Dark Ages or the Iron Age and all the weapons, but also badass technology.
Yes! It has such
a nice combo.
Incredible potential.
Yeah.
And it creates a very unique setup. I can only think of one other massive IP that has done this. Fantasy, kind of fantasy and sci-fi mixture. It's not Star Wars.
Warcraft?
Almost. Warhammer.
Warhammer, yes, okay, yes, of course. No, of course. Again, very compared to one another, aren't they? The Doom and the Slayer and the Warhammer types. But of course it is. That's very much the same.
Right. I mean, as I was running around in these hell castles, as I was running around in the barracks of the Night Sentinels, there would be this big machinery with a mecha inside, and on the other end there would be a shrine for prayer with thousands of candles.
Yeah, very, very Warhammer, right?
That's very much Warhammer 40k coded.
If anyone is listening out there at ID, you've got Warhammer Doom crossover type game would be for like everyone would buy that. Just everyone. Just so you know, if you want infinite money, everyone would buy that.
I would absolutely give id Software the keys to Warhammer 40k. Although, I think, who did Space Marine 2?
Who
was this? Here we go. Saber Interactive.
That's right. There
yes.
That's it.
It seems like they've got it figured out.
Oh yeah, Space Marines 2 was great. Again, another game just like this. You don't care much for the story. Ooh. You're just out there to go kill things and be badass.
Wouldn't that just be... I've got an idea.
Yeah.
I've got it. How about id Software and Saber Interactive kind of wife swap?
Okay, nice, yeah. Weirdly a little bit kinky, but yeah.
How about Saber Interactive does a Doom and id Software does a Warhammer?
But remember that they also kind of want Master Chief in it too. There's a whole call for Master Chief and the Doomslayer to also meet up because they're kind of the same energy and same vibe. Right? These big...
Okay, that makes sense. Master Chief, the Doomslayer, and a Space Marine.
That's so great. I know there's lots of licensing issues and stuff like that, but that game would freaking just rock up. Like, it would just be great.
That would knock my socks off. Absolutely.
Yeah, so if you're listening, make it happen, people. We all wanted it with secret levels,
yes!
but that never happened,
We, at Critical Arcade, demand it.
Yes. And the list. All hail the list.
And the list. All hail the list.
Yeah, like I said, there's so many cool characters. This is just adding to the roster. And I love how old Doom is as well, and it's still going. Like, I can't remember how old Doom, but it must be well in its 30s, right? It's gotta be.
I think the first one was 1993, so this must be its 32nd or 33rd year.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
32nd.
Crazy. I love games that last
That's older than I am.
Yeah. Oh, well, not older than me, sadly. But I love the idea it's growing with you. I like the idea. We've got so many companies that are kind of going down, but I do love the ideas. There's still some out there that are just moving along.
Well, I mean, that's Final Fantasy for you, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. No, exactly the same thing. Yeah. Hopefully they stay around. Don't.
I'm sure. Final Fantasy's turned into one of those staple titles.
Yes,
those franchises that will not go away.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon.
Very true, yeah. Pokemon is never going away. That's going to be around for
it's not going anywhere. Yeah. No, it's not. I'm going to have a Geodude in my coffin.
Oh, yeah, no, there really is. It's weird. It's still one of the big... I think it's the biggest IP in the world. Because everybody knows a Pokemon or something Pokemon related. There's barely anyone who doesn't. Yeah, Pokemon's one of those megacorps that will probably own a country one day.
Oh, yeah. And for some reason... Their games are made by Game Freak.
Yeah. Well, I guess we got let's see what they do with the next one. Old X and Z or Z, depending where you're...
We'll see. That's what I've got for narrative.
Anything. Let's go to visuals then.
Right. Visuals. When I look at the new Doom games, the Doom 2016 Eternal Dark Ages, one thing that comes to mind in the visual department is... big, very big, large areas.
Yeah.
Big, large, massive scenes. Big hammer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, agreed.
Everything is huge.
Yeah. It's a grand scale of things in every regard, right?
Yes, grand scale is so much better than saying big, large.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's all my education coming through compared to yours. I use university words.
Say,
yeah, it's what I get what you mean. Again, visually is one of the highest marks I gave this game because it does give you that. You're out in the battlefield killing all the imps, and then all of a sudden you've got the big titans fighting a big mech, and you've got ships flying
on the battlefield. You're shooting guns, feeling badass, hell yeah, and then next to you, what's it called? An astral.
Yeah.
I forgot what they're called. Big Titan fight Big Demon Titan.
There we go. Yeah, no doubt. Those little moments where you just feel the energy of the battlefield, it pulled off very well here. Like, you did
absolutely
think you had a momentous battle on your hands, and you're the only person who can shift the tide. It does that a lot, and it just looks so good.
Yes, it feels like a real battlefield.
Yeah, exactly. It's alive with the kind of energy of what you're doing.
Yes.
No, it does that
which is exactly what you want from a game like this.
Yeah, and it adds to that kinetic type shooting game that this is. You know, the jumping around, the energy of the field, the warps and the platforms you can jump onto and all that. It does. Again, it's what this did it very well. I was very impressed with the visuals in this. Even the little things.
Things.
Did you ever play the original Doom? Have you? I know you must have seen it, but did you ever play it?
I've seen it, yes. I've not played it.
And you know that on the original Doom, you get the little portrait of the guy in the middle, right?
Oh.
He's got this little face.
I know what you're going to say. Yes. And he kind of looks side to side.
Yes, that's right. And lifts his eyebrows and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's always like, they kept that in the game. The little guy would raise his eyebrows when you were just walking around.
Yes. id Software, they know.
Yeah, I love that little bit.
Yes.
I wished it got bloodied though. In the original, as you lost health, the little portrait would get bloodied or bruised or something like that. I kind of wish that was in there as a nice little throwback. But the moving eyebrows and the god mode or berserk in this regard, the eyes going like you're possessed type thing was still there. So I liked that little bit because it just a nice nod to the old era of the game that I played myself. And just I got tingles when you saw the Slayer take his helmet off because I wasn't expecting it. I thought he was just going to be one of those, always wearing his helmet like a Master Chief and stuff like that. You never take your helmet off. And there were scenes where he took his helmet off and you just realize he's kind of still human, but not. And it's the exact, I swear, it's modeled off the original face of the original game. It's almost identical. I loved seeing that. The human side to the Slayer, to see that he actually has human features, even though he's angry all the time. I thought that was really cool. It's cool to think that he's, human and not kind of human. I don't know what the origin actual story is.
Is he?
I don't know.
I think I watched a retrospective once. He used to be human. I think he was just a regular Marine
who
kind of got very good at fighting demons and then eventually got inaugurated.
But they revere him as a god, right, to some degree. Because
yes,
they keep qualifying he's godlike powers and stuff like that in regards to slaying.
I think he was a human who became a god.
Okay.
Or godlike powers, much like Kratos.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was a god from the get-go.
Yeah, I think so too. He kind of got given them or won them or something like that. He somehow
something
got
like that.
Superpowers,
yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes.
And the weapons. I thought the weapons were cool as hell. Like just the concept of the weapons visually. Right?
Which one was your favorite to use?
See, my favorite to use. Oh god, it was so hard because all of them are kind of good. I do love my super shotgun because that's a nice nod to the original.
Who doesn't?
I kind of liked the headshots with like the railgun spikes, but then of course, many good ones.
The Impaler or the
Impaler.
Auto.
No, the Impaler. I liked that one. I liked the ball on chain. That was kind of fun. I love the nods to the medieval and the gun in some degree. Oh, they were all kind of good. Did not like the energy weapon much, but I never liked that in the original Dooms.
Really?
No, I just...
That's weird. That one was my favorite.
No ways.
The cycler.
Blue shooting plasma thing.
Yes, the blue shooting plasma one. The cycler. That's the one I used most often. And the regular shotgun. Yeah. I switched between those two constantly.
I must admit, I thought the skull crushing gun bits was a cool idea. Didn't enjoy it as a gun, though.
You didn't. I did.
No.
I did.
I thought it was a cool concept. I thought it looked great. But I just thought play style, not my thing. I was more a shotgun or a pinpoint to the head type guy. And then, of course, did you see the replacement for the BFG? The original gun in...
No, I didn't. No.
Because this is a throwback to the Dark Ages and the medieval type aspect to it, it's the BFC. The big effing crossbow. which is cheesy and kind of funny to say, but it's a lot more badass in game when you get it. And it's also got the green hue to it. It also does just insane damage and you get very little ammo for it. But it was funny when you pick it up and go, unlock the BFC. Again, so many nods to the original game that
that's
you just
cool. I know. Yes, they completely understand that this game is one of the very few franchises that's got a legacy.
Yes, yeah.
It's been around for more than 30 years. It's got a legacy, and they're managing to respect that legacy, all while paving new ground for this franchise.
Yeah,
very, very, very few studios are able to do that.
No,
it's
agreed.
Incredible,
and they do
really.
that in multiple ways. Yeah, you're right. It really does have that respecting the older players and asking the newer players to check it out at the same time.
It's not even the only franchise that they managed to do this with. They kind of even do this with the Wolfenstein games.
Oh, true. Yes, I forgot. Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, they dropped the ball with New Blood, but the previous ones, Wolfenstein 2, New Colossus, New Order, and Old Blood.
Wow, you've thrown me right back because I used to play Doom, the original, and then I also used to play Wolfenstein, the original.
Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah, that was a badass game. I loved that game. That game was great.
Wow.
And as a game you probably never heard of, which was the same vein of game, a game called Spear of Destiny, which was also just that 2D maze scroller type game.
No, I've not heard of that.
Yeah, you've thrown me back now. I completely forgot that those games. I played those games at the exact same time I played the Doom games. Oh, great games. Wolfenstein is also a classic.
Wow.
But anyway, before we go down that tangent, I loved Wolfenstein. It's kind of mean because in Wolfenstein, the baddies are German, and when you meet the baddies in the original, they say "don't shoot" in German, and then you go ahead and kill them.
Wow, no
Every
way.
single time they say "don't shoot."
Don't shoot.
And then you shoot.
Shoot them.
It's brutal, but yeah, I love those games.
No,
anyway,
I mean, BJ Blazkowicz don't take no prisoners.
No, exactly, really doesn't. Anything else visually you want to add to what's the game?
Yes. I think it's very smart from id Software. Some visual cues in the gameplay. And what I mean by visual cues, I mean just the color that they use for loads of things.
Yeah.
At first, realistically, it seems dumb.
Yeah.
But
I get what you mean.
I mean, if you think about it a bit more, the pace of this game is so intensely fast.
Yeah.
it's so useful when you manage to recognize colors on the battlefield mean different things.
Yeah, agreed. No, it's so that you can keep moving, so you don't have to wonder what's that, or can I get up there and stuff like that. No, I get you.
Yes,
I agree. I agree with you.
If you see a couple of blue dots on the ground in Doom, what do you immediately think?
Well, blue dots on the ground is health, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you see green spots on the ground, that is armor.
Shield, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, but
I got that down here. Green means armor or something to parry.
Yes, true. In this regard, something. But it's you're right. It's to help that kinetic movement, because a lot of the time it's also health management, right? Because you get amongst it and then your health's below 40% or 30%, and then you got to go grab a med kit. You got to grab some shields. It kind of connects the dots to the whole manic gameplay.
It does. But how much worse would the pacing be for this game if everything wasn't so intensely saturated, so insanely color-coded? It would look more real, just this med pack on the ground, full of blood. But because it's so almost... what's the word? Ridiculously blue, ridiculously green. It looks weird, but in the game, because of that visual cue, the game can be a split second instead of 3 seconds.
It's got kind of that arcade feel, like the old arcade cabinets where, time crisis and stuff like that in regards to move over here, move over there, duck behind here. But you're right, if it didn't have that and it was more realistic and stuff, you'd be trepidatious, wouldn't you?
The pacing would suffer.
Yeah, exactly. You really would. So it is a weirdly very clever visual device to make sure that the pacing doesn't slow down when you're in a fight. Which, again, that's a very clever visual thing for them to put in. I didn't even think about it that way. Anything else?
I just think the designs for the demons are great. I like the way they look. That's it.
The only thing, on the negative side, I'll say, is that later on in the game, you do get, like, demon fatigue, because it's just the same demons again and again, but just more of them.
Wow,
just,
that's a term. Demon fatigue?
Yeah, demon fatigue. You've not heard of... everyone knows about demon fatigue. No, but you do.
Demon fatigue, yes. Get some demon away to treat your demon
that's
fatigue.
Right. Just get it today with 3 special vials if you order now.
Yes. Treats demon aches Monday through Sunday.
But it is one of those things, like later on in the game, where the story's hyping up and everything's getting worse and worse, your battlefields have just got more of the higher level demons on. They don't have any new demons. Maybe a one or two.
Doesn't that make it fun though? I mean, the higher level demons make the gameplay a bit more intricate.
Yeah.
The parries that you need to perform are slightly, not a lot. Just you need to push 2 buttons instead of 1.
Yeah.
But if your battlefield is drenched by dozens and dozens of demons, the gameplay becomes, you kind of need to think on the fly instead of just shooting.
Maybe I'm looking too much, because again, I thought the last fight visually was boring too. I don't know what, like I like the big demons, I like the little demons. A lot of those demons are of course a throwback to the original Doom, and the other Dooms, the spider things and the imps and the big guys with the cannons. I can't remember what their real names are, but those are of course everywhere. So it's always nice to see a throwback to the original ones. But later on, I must admit, it kind of just got, which one am I shooting now? Now, granted, you're right, because you have to think, can I parry this? Can I go to this? Can I dodge this one? And then you've got the fodder for you to heal and stuff like that. So there is, again, they're probably doing it for the management side of combat. But I just got slightly fatigued by having to kill the same thing for the 40th time.
I felt like this at the end of Doom 2016. I know what you mean now that I'm listening and you're talking about it. I recognize this because I felt the same way at the end of Doom 2016. I laughed at demon fatigue. I apologize. I got demon fatigue at the end of 2016.
Yeah, you do.
Because I got so exhausted near the end. The final couple of levels, I thought, okay, let's just push through.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost there, finish the game, and then we can uninstall.
Because you knew there wasn't going to be a special new enemy now, because you hadn't had a special new enemy for like the last 2 or 3 hours, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Which is a shame, because it's still a great game, but just at the end, I just got a little too fatigued about it. Anything else visually you want to talk about?
No.
Okay, now it's your favorite section, audio man. What did you think of the audio?
This is, you know what? This part is one massive reason people adore the Doom games.
Yeah,
right?
No doubt.
The sound, not just the soundtrack, but the audio for Doom games feel like an event, right? There's a new Doom game. Hell yeah. Time to get the soundtrack. Time to listen to all the sound effects. Audio has been a big part of Doom for a very long time.
Yeah.
Since 2016, definitely. Mick Gordon.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I can't remember if it was the same for Doom games before this. I'm assuming it's gonna be.
Like in my head, I can hear the original Doom music. I don't know. You've never played. Did you play the original? If I go do no 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 no, it's
What's
again.
that?
That's the Doom song. I hope. Granted, my memory's not the great.
I don't know. I remember.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a badass. I do remember that is one of them. And that's literally, I'm smiling because you just had me reminisce about that song. That song's great. I love Doom games. It's weird to think that killing demons makes me smile so much. The concept just makes me smile so much.
But so as these Doom games have modernized, they more and more and more, they feel like metal soundtracks come to life.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Just so much so well.
Just the cover of any Doom game, the front cover, Doomslayer standing on a pointy rock, covered in hundreds of demons he's shooting down. That's the cover of a metal.
Oh,
soundtrack.
Definitely, yeah. It's Iron Maiden, it's Dio, it's agreed. It really is.
All of those
pairs so well. And again, the medieval or the Dark Ages type aspect of it just, of course, just plays into the heavy metal again.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
They knew id Software they must have sat down and said, okay, how can we make this even more metal?
Yes, because of course Mick Gordon was very good at it in regards to the other two, right?
Oh yeah.
Now they did have a bit of a spiff and are no longer talking to one another, so Mick Gordon didn't do this one.
Unfortunately.
Now, you played the other ones. Would you say the soundtrack for this one is as good as Mick Gordon's like the original, or was it missed? A lot of people saying it's just missing a bit of magic, but you're the audio guy.
Oh wow, that's exactly what I'd say.
Oh
that's
really?
Exactly what I would say. Yes. It's missing that slight bit of special sauce.
Yeah.
Right? That Neverland pixie dust. It's missing that. It's missing that Willy Wonka Chocolate River Fat German Kid sauce.
Yeah, I'm with you. Is that in regards to just the quality of the music, or
no?
How
the
quality is great.
The quality is great. The quality is great. I can't think of something to compare it with.
Yeah, it's such big shoes to fill, though. Like, we had the Mick Gordon, very good at it, and then you've got this. I think the band is called Finishing Move Incorporated. A guy called Brian Triffin and Brian Lee White. My favorite thing, if you look at their history of games they've done music for, right? Mm-hmm. You got Costello Protocol, which I don't actually remember the music for that. Can you? Was that good?
The Callisto Protocol.
Sorry, yes. What did I say? Did I say it wrong? Yeah, the Callisto Protocol.
Wait a minute. The Callisto Protocol had music?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, I was just reading it. I was like,
I can't remember that.
They did some work.
Glenn Schofield, you did it again.
It gets better. They did some work for Borderlands 3. Yeah, okay, that possibly had music in it. I can't remember that. They did music for
3.
Grounded, that survival game where you're like a
I never played
grass,
that.
Right? Halo Wars 2. Okay, cool. That kind of possibly had.
Great.
Oh, and the last one. This one just blew me, just blew my mind. They did the music. Sorry, that was a Freudian slip. The music for Microsoft Flight Simulator.
What?
That's such a weird credit to have.
What is? Isn't that just the radio?
I don't know. In my mind, all I can hear is like lift music.
Exactly. What music? Jet engines. Yeah. Jet engines. That's the music for Flight Simulator.
There's music in Flight Simulator? I never knew this. And they're credited for doing some of that music too. I did not know.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
But yeah, everybody did say this is missing some source. This is missing some magic.
It is.
Again, it's hard to determine if that's just people who wished Mick Gordon was on it, so they're always going to say, oh, it's not going to be as good.
Oh, it's not as great.
But you with the musical ear, like you said, from that perspective, you're saying it is missing the source. It is missing that magic.
But please don't get me wrong. The music is still good. It's still banging. If you're a metalhead, you're still going to enjoy this.
True. Very true. And granted, I did look at the voice actors for this game.
Okay.
And some of them, it's kind of strange. You know, the Slayer suit talks to you in regards to like your mission parameters and what's going on.
Wow,
right?
It happened in one mission, and then I thought, oh wow, okay, my suit talks.
Yeah,
to me now.
I think I saw that
stop.
Too. Yeah,
it's like they kind of remembered halfway through. Oh wait, oh shit, his suit talks to him now.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it's going to bug you even more if I tell you who's the voice of it.
Oh no, is it Kevin Spacey?
No, I love that Paul though. Randomly, Kevin Spacey's only work is the Slayer's suit. It's a guy called Robbie Damon. Now you probably don't know Damon. I don't know if you say
Robbie Damon.
Yeah. Do you recognize that name? Because you're good with names.
Robbie Damon, is he the fighter of the Nightmen?
I don't know. The only reason I thought he's your least favorite character in Persona 5. He voices.
No.
Can you remember who that is?
Akechi.
Yeah.
No.
Your suit is the same.
The Doomslayer's suit.
Yeah.
No.
It's a weird, like, because he's quite a decent voice actor to just be doing the suit.
I mean, yes, he's good. Yes, he's good. I'm no beef against the voice actor. Beef against Akechi. Big beef against Akechi.
Yeah,
he killed people.
Akechi. You hated that. And of course, did you? I had to ask you this because I don't know the character. Did you recognize Creed Maker's voice at all? Granted, voice actors are very good at changing their voices, so it's not easy to spot them. But did you recognize any of it at all?
I didn't.
Yeah, there's voice actors Darren DePaul. I'm guessing that's how you say it. Does that recognize anything for you?
Darren DePaul? No, I don't know who that is.
Well, he plays Reinhardt in Overwatch.
Reinhardt.
Which one is he? I'm not good with names.
Okay, Darren DePaul. I recognize him. Yes, I can see him. He's great.
Who's Reinhardt? It's not the ape, is it? Which one? I don't know Overwatch.
Reinhardt is the big German in the big mech suit.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Okay, he's the big German. And of course, the Slayer was voiced by somebody called Jason E. Kelly, and the only real name I recognized him in his work is he plays Colt Van in Deathloop, which I know you've played a ton of,
Colt.
Right?
Oh yeah,
so
that's
the Slayer, it's the same voice actor. Apart from that, couldn't find. There were other voice actors, but they were all mainly for kiddies programs and like small acting roles and TV. So there wasn't really much there.
I don't. Doom's not a game that I'd go looking for the voice work.
Exactly. Very true. Very true. It's there, and they're not bad. It wasn't bad voice acting. I thought the voice acting was alright. But
no, that's fine. One thing that I do, out of the 3 audio pillars, the one left that I think Doom excels at and has been excelling at for close to a decade now is sound design.
Yeah, of course.
We've got the soundtrack, exceptional. We've got the voice work, fine. Mm-hmm. And the sound design is another pillar that I think id Software completely blew it out of the water, as everyone knew they would.
Yeah, no doubt. A lot of confidence in this game, yeah.
Yes. These Doom games, people know that if you shoot a gun in a Doom game, you can feel the gun being shot. You can feel it. The kinetic energy, the pure kinetic force derived from these guns in this game is astonishing.
Oh, agree.
It's incredible.
I mentioned this in the visuals as well, and the fact that flesh falls off the bodies when you attack them, right? To add that visual nature of what you just did, or something like that. It's such a cool, and you're right. Every gun, just the sound effect, it's just so much weight and matches the gun itself, right?
Absolutely, the super shotgun.
Yeah.
How did they get something to sound like that?
Yeah, it's. Again, shotguns in games, that and dual-wielding pistols is always my go-to. So anything's got a shotgun in it, I'm down. And you're right, there's something just meaty adds to that Slayer attitude with all the sound effects and the fact that you're just kicking so much ass compared to what they're doing back to you. It's just and just the parry noise. Everybody loves to parry, and knowing when you've got like a cool parry. I was parrying well, right?
constantly.
Yeah, no doubt. It's the fun. Like in God of War, my favorite part was parrying. Just to get a parry off is just such a nice feeling. Or even in Elden Ring, when it's really hard to catch those frames to parry properly, but when you get one, you're just like, whoa. And this game, it's pretty much that in a nutshell. Lots of parries and a lot of shooting. You can't really go wrong.
Let's use that as the perfect segue to go into gameplay.
Yeah, no doubt.
The parry mechanic.
Yeah.
I am a very big fan.
Again, I thought it was... I can't remember a time I played a shooting game with a shield. You know, that combo where you're shielding and shooting. I'm sure there are games where there's like a little shield or something like that. But a parrying combo and a shooting combo.
A shooting game?
Sorry?
Rainbow Six Siege?
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing. Something like a tactical SWAT type
a riot
version,
shield or something.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing. But yeah, I thought it wasn't going to work for me. But yeah, it was actually... It took a little while for me to get used to it, but it was actually worked out really well. It was quite smooth. It was quite a good feeling. Yeah.
I hardly ever threw it though. I only parried.
Yeah, no, apart from taking out those shield guys who are really annoying, who you can throw the shield at and decimate. Yep. Yeah, I barely threw it too. You know, shielding and countering and stuff like that, just too much fun to get rid of your shield.
I'm wondering, do we like the parry because it slows down the gameplay or something? Yeah,
but I'll give this game something. I did like, at the very beginning of the game when you start up and it asks you if you want to do medium and if you can see these symbols and stuff. The actual level of slides that you can adjust to your game, how the game style you play. I thought that was great because I agree. I'm not a fast combat type of guy, so I could set the ways I wanted to play it. But you can
I used to be, but not anymore.
Yeah, you can increase it to 200% if that's your thing. If you want things to be just fast and frantic, if you want things to be slow, if you want your health to be a bit higher, if you want the bad guys to hit a little harder, there's so many little bits of fine-tuning you can do to make the gameplay the way you want. And also open it up to players who've never played it before, who want to get used to the controls and how it works. I thought that was a really cool concept. I liked that a lot. I thought it was very clever.
I'm going to agree and say that makes this game accessible to a larger player base. Those who like it fast, those who like it at a more reasonable pace.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those that like it too fast, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older.
Yeah, I think so too. I was thinking, damn, I had it just like fast and on hard, and I kept getting down to like 3% health on just like one area, and I swear I'm trying to run around as fast as I can and get all the combos and stuff. But I did have to slow it down because I wanted to feel more badass than I was feeling. I didn't
even try that. From the start, I said, give me normal, please.
Yeah, I tried because you always hear that thing saying, no, I've been gaming for years, I should try hard. Hard is the way you go.
And my ego is preventing me from playing on normal.
Yeah, exactly. But the gameplay, again, it kind of rules. It was a good combo. It felt good. Everything about the gameplay.
The gameplay for these Doom games is and have always been the most important part.
Yeah.
The audio is extremely important. It sounds like a metal album. The visuals also quite important because it looks like a metal album. The narrative, it's got a lot of catching up to do. True. But the gameplay is king. These
types of games, no doubt.
Yes. From the start up until now, it took a real big turn in 2016 when the gameplay became the most important part.
Yes, that's the one they focused on in regards to the development of that game. Yeah, no doubt.
And it's still the same here. All the other parts are catching up. Audio, visual, up there, narrative. Anyway, and I'm thinking I like the parry because it slows down the gameplay for just a second so I can breathe.
Yeah, agreed. When you got that little parry off, when you've got a little bit of life left and you get the parry off and you go, phew. Okay, because sometimes the parry itself would charge your weapons or gain you some bit of shield, a little bit of health. That's right.
Yes.
But should we talk about the elephant in the room in regards to gameplay? The two elephants in the room in regards to gameplay in this game.
Wait a minute. Okay. I don't know what you're going to bring up.
Come on. The mech battles. What elephants? The big mech battles. Did you like them or not?
Oh, these two elephants.
Right. What did you think of the big Titan mech battles?
I liked them for a minute.
Yeah. The first one, getting used to it, sure. The dodging, big fights, love a big punch and a kick and like a Titan-esque type fights, cool. And then they were just the same. They were the same.
Yeah.
I'm not bashing it. I do like the idea that you go from little person to big person in a big suit, and it's kind of badass to have these big suits taking on big demons, and it's visceral and stuff like that. But it was like, can you remember years ago the Deus Ex? The very first remake of the Deus Ex games, or whatever. I can't remember what it was
Mankind
called.
Divided.
Was that Mankind Divided, or was it...
I don't know. I can't remember.
But that one, can you remember the development of that game? But they sent the boss fight development to another studio. And so when that was done, they imported the boss fights, and the boss fights were just completely... Some of them were just far too hard. It was like that you could see 2 different studios had made these games, and it didn't mend. Like, it wasn't... They had to fix it. They later patched it out.
I did not know this.
And the mech battles seem the same thing. It's you got all the love for the amazing combat in regards to being the Slayer, but the mech battles like, it was like a rail shooter, right? It was like really slow.
Really did. It felt like, you know what? I think you might be onto something. It really does feel like someone else made these. Wow. No, I think you're right, because they feel so
like different games. Like,
they feel like different games entirely.
It felt like an arcade game, like the old school when you went to the arcade.
The parry button isn't parry.
No, I know it isn't parry. I was thinking this whole time, why couldn't they have just made what we'd used to as a small Slayer and just made it big?
Yes.
To do all the bad ass things, get some bigger guns, a big ass shield, and just did the same thing, but you were bigger and walking around buildings and shit. That would have been great. Who doesn't want to do all these badass things as a massive mech?
It's not what we got, though.
And then, did you get to your dragon, who was cool as hell?
I did. I got the entrance of the dragon.
Yep.
Hell yeah. But flying around on the dragon.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It is so insanely bad.
I didn't want it to be bad because the dragon is cool, and being a Doomslayer on a dragon is cool.
And I heard the internet all saying it's dumb, and I thought to myself, okay, gamers can be elitists. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not. So you go in and you play it, and you think there's literally some parts of the dragon parts are literally not gameplay. They are just sections go from A to B. There are parts where you are following some bad guys with a little demon mark that you're supposed to shoot, but they do not shoot back or do anything else but a little thing for you to shoot in regards to the progression of them. It kind of reminded me of the, like the lift sections in Mass Effect where it's actually a loading screen where they just stand in. It felt like these bits were the loading screen.
Do you think so?
The gameplay was so dull.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It was so dull. It was so... There was really nothing to it. No. And if you destroyed the little ship in front of you, all you got was some gold. That was it. There was nothing, like, story-wise in regards to it. There was nothing big that unlocked.
It's not... I really didn't like it either. What I thought was insanely bad was when you were on the back of this dragon and you were shooting turrets on top of these hell carriers.
That's right, yeah.
Why on earth would my dragon zip in front of it, dodge to the side, and zip back?
Yeah, it again reminds me of, remember Time Crisis? You had that little pedal. You had the pedal on the ground.
Yes. That's exactly it.
It's exactly the same gameplay. So it's arcade gameplay.
But horrible.
Like everybody, like you play this game and it's so badass, and then you get to a flying section and your whole energy just goes, oh god. Because you were just destroying hordes of demons. You were saving everyone. And then, hey, let's go get a taxi to... Badass taxi. The dragon's a badass. Later on in the game, even more a badass. He's very cool. These segments are so weird. It's a weird thing to get approved.
I think you might have hit the nail on the head when you mentioned that these feel like they were made by different studios. Because, I mean, these big studios, they outsource things all the time. If they focus on the core gameplay loop of being the Doomslayer, fighting with guns on the battlefield, balancing that entire thing can be a gigantic undertaking.
No doubt.
And now all of a sudden, corporate's telling us we need to do dragon fights and mech fights.
Yeah, because we want to sell more merchandise, right? We want to sell a dragon. We want to sell that again.
Hell yeah, money, please! I'm a suit. Give me money.
On the paper, badass.
That's gonna be outsourced.
Mech fights, hell yeah. Dragon fights, yeah. Put it in. Everyone's gonna smile at that idea. Great idea, but the execution, just ass. It really was. It's such a shame because the rest of the gameplay
I didn't want to
is
believe
really
it, but
good.
you're right. It is.
And it's a nice little nod. I do like that the Doom games keep the secret areas. Also a throwback to the original Doom games. There was always secret areas and little areas where you can get a gun or ammunition. And they still do the same thing throughout the Doom games. Yes. Again, I love keeping to the old style.
Isn't
and
it just
making it new.
such a big relief that they show you where these secret areas are?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I agree.
It's one less thing. This is gonna sound weird that I can stress or worry or be anxious about. I can just look at the map.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 2 secret areas in the next room. Perfect.
But we do sound like old men. I feel like, is this our age? Because we want
I don't want to, but we do sound like old men.
Yeah, because we want yellow string to tell us where to go, and we want yellow paints. Yes, I can climb that. Again, it is easement of play. You do enjoy yourself a bit more if you're not looking for things all the time.
I think it depends on the game.
True.
I think it depends on the game. When it's a game like Doom,
yeah,
I don't want to think.
Yeah.
I want my muscle memory to do the thinking for me.
Agreed. But if it's something more complex, like a Resident Evil, and you're undoing the puzzles and trying to find things out.
Yes, if it's a survival horror, and I need to think, I've got 2 bullets left.
Yes,
the next room might have an enemy. What am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd play Silent Hill.
Yeah, exactly. Very true.
I'd play Dead Space.
So yeah, it has its uses. Agreed. Anything else gameplay you want to talk about?
Oh,
sorry.
just the one last thing.
Go on. Sorry.
Doom: The Dark Ages differs from Eternal and 2016, where you've not played those, so I don't think you're gonna.
I've watched some. I've watched some. Quite a lot of Eternal gameplay, so I kind of know what it's about.
So you would then most likely know that in Eternal, it works like a rock paper scissors game. This gun is used and most useful against this demon.
Yes, that's right.
This gun is used and is most useful against this demon.
That's true.
Which is not the case in Dark Ages.
Well, to some degree.
I, for one...
Go on.
Oh, do you... Okay, to some degree, you say.
You said the energy weapon, right? If you shoot the energy weapon at the energy shield bad guys, they explode, right?
Yes, and they're extremely ineffective against the metal shields.
Yeah, right. Which is kind of a rock paper scissors aspect to it.
So it's still here, but to a smaller degree.
It is a lot smaller. It is. There's only 2 I can think of. That's the shields and the metal shields in regards to your shield itself. But yeah,
that was almost the entirety of Doom Eternal. So you would see an enemy, switch to that weapon, disperse that enemy in record time.
Yeah.
And that would be the entire battlefield. Switching to the correct weapon on the fly would be a cinch.
Yeah.
And you would mow down demons.
Because each demon had a weakness to a certain weapon, right? So you would exploit that weakness in regards to each demon. Yeah.
And people liked that.
Yeah. I can see
that isn't in the Dark Ages
agreed.
To such a large degree anymore. You could pick any weapon and you could use whatever on whoever.
Yes, I got you. The people that did say that the gun management aspect of Eternal, like the proper management of which gun to use, is missing.
Management is precisely the word I'd use.
You can play this game with one gun and go all the way through it and still complete it, right, without much problem.
Which do you prefer?
Oh, I like a lot of guns. I like mixing up.
Of course. But you can have a lot of guns in both games.
Yeah.
Which method do you prefer? Specific guns for specific enemies, or all the guns for all the enemies?
I kind of like all the guns for all the enemies. Just opens up play style because it's I can just swap them out and still do damage.
Exactly. We just mentioned earlier that you and I focused on different guns. You had the Impaler and the super shotgun.
Yep,
I had the combat shotgun and the cycler.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fun. Like I said, and you get to pick... And if you get bored of one...
It's freedom.
You get to play with the rocket launcher or the cannonball thing and stuff like that. Right?
Or the BFC.
Yeah, or the BFC. Yeah, because you do get a bit fatigued in regards to using the same weapon again and again and again. And like I said, if there was a moment in there where I had to use one because this enemy doesn't die unless you use purple things on it or something like that, that does take away from the kinetic energy of the game. That you are just
absolutely
a blowing away machine and you're just killing everything. I get it. I see what you mean.
I do think that it's a different kind of tightrope. In Eternal, you would kind of master the method of recognizing which weapon to use and managing your weapons.
Yes.
Where in Darker Ages, instead of being of trying to go after mastery, you'd be going after enjoyment. Where this run through, it's only shotguns, and that's perfectly fine. And the next run through would be only the ball and chain gun.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And that's perfectly valid.
Yeah, agreed. Another thing that people always moan about this, there weren't glory kills, but they kind of are glory kills, just in a different manner, right? Because I know in the Eternal, they glow blue or glow red or whatever in regards to when you can do a glory kill. And that mechanic's gone, sure, and I get why people are a bit upset by that. But the new glory kills in regards to when they turn purple or when you jump across and cut their heads off it was kind of all there. I'll give you it's not as fantastic or just over the top like Eternal was.
Agreed. It just felt like you were punching them with your shield.
Yeah, sometimes it was a bit lame because I have seen all the ones in the Eternal, and the Eternal ones are great. There's no doubt. The Eternal ones are really... It is a little sad they didn't put that much the magic back into this one, but I can imagine it must have taken ages just
That's the thing.
To model those scenes, right?
It could have been a decision where nobody wanted to omit the glory kills, but it was kind of a necessity in order for them to focus on different, more important parts of the game.
I think that happened too. Which, like again, if they're getting a deadline and they're getting pressure down their necks and stuff like that, you can understand that decision. Anything else for gameplay, or should we go to performance?
That's it for gameplay.
Performance is a mixed bag.
It is. It really is. I'm assuming you saw Moist Critical's experience.
I did, very much so. Yes, I did watch. And I agree with him. It's crazy how much work he had to do in regards to just keeping his super powerful PC, like a PC that's not lagging in any regards, just to keep playing the game.
It shouldn't
just to
be
stop
the case.
crashing. And even at one point, he just had to switch off the tutorial menus popping up. The tutorial menus for each gun was making his game freeze, which made it unplayable. So he had to switch. Luckily, you could switch off the tutorial prompts.
That shouldn't be.
That's so insane. Now, ladies and gents, we played the PlayStation 5 version, which didn't have, because it's, of course, a fixed unit, it's a lot easier to manufacture a game for that, that exact spec of the PC that's inside a PlayStation.
That's what I've been hearing from developers in these interviews as well. It's so much easier to design for one spec, like Dave said.
Of course it is. Now, it doesn't mean this didn't come with problems on the PC. I actually I had a problem in regards to the first part when you get on the dragon and it's teaching you the dodge mechanic. There's a few turrets on like a tower, right?
Yes.
I somehow got in a loop in there where the game wouldn't allow me to dodge the green bullets, and so I couldn't pull off the move that took down their shields, right?
Oh.
I was there for 20 minutes thinking, am I just bad at this game? I could not do it. Like back and forth. I actually died. Me and my dragon died at that tutorial.
Jeez.
And then loaded it again, pulled off the exact same things, and it was fine. I was doing the dodges.
That's a bug. That's just a glitch.
A simple glitch in the game, but it made that part... I must be the only person in the game that died at that moment, because it's a tutorial.
Listen, if that bug is there, you're definitely not.
Yeah, and of course, did you hear the craziness in regards to the physical editions of this game?
Oh, right, yes, where it's not loaded on the disc.
85 megabytes is on the disc. 85 megabytes. Fundamentally a CD key or a permission or a license key in regards to downloading it. I hate that. I hate that so much, because if you're making the disc and you're doing all the process and you're burning 85 megabytes on it, so you're going through the process of burning the data on the disc, some data on the disc anyway, you might as well burn the whole thing on that disc.
Yes.
The process is all there. You're not. I can't imagine. I don't know, but I can't imagine.
But I mean, if you're some other executive that the burning process, if it's just 85 megabytes, you could process 5 CDs in the same time.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
One.
But I don't know if that is true.
I don't know. What other reason could there be?
Yeah, in my mind, the difference between 85 megabytes and like the 100 and something gigs is like 2 seconds. Because we know the factories burn this out very quickly. It's not like the old CD burners that we used to have in our PC. This is on a mass scale of doing data onto a disk. It can't take a long time.
Dave.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why a company would make this specific decision?
Again, a lot of people point out because it's a licensing aspect, and it's one of those narratives in regards to you don't actually own your games, and they're trying to make you go digital by making physical. I don't know which conspiracy I kind of believe. I think that every game company wants you to go digital because it's cheaper for them, so they're kind of putting you off the physical discs now so that they can edge you onto digital. What do you think?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I have zero conspiracies that I believe.
Again, it's such it's a really good game, but to have it marred with why only give it, like, again, you've got a CD, it's basically a ticket.
Yes.
Or like a you put it in the disc to get permission to download it.
I don't understand what good comes of it for the company that's what I mean.
I don't understand it. And I'm a big, ladies and gents, I'm a big physical game man. I love something in my hands. And to own something and you purchased it and you're supposed to own it, that whole argument is my type of lane of thinking. It's so murky and in a grey area, you just can't help to think that it's something dodgy. There's a dodgy reason they did that for some.
It does feel like it.
As a company or Bethesda did it or something. There's something in there that just feels very customer abusive. Like this isn't customer centered. This is some sort of manipulation in some regards. It's
very anti-consumer.
Yeah, it really is, and that does rub me the wrong way.
We can use this to segue directly into value for money.
Yeah. Because
I think that little act is, well, not so little, but is very anti-consumer.
Agreed. And it does mark, like I said, we had the PlayStation 5 version and we got the digital, so we got very lucky. Thank you, Bethesda, for giving us that. But there is an aspect to it that I can't get. Like, were we bothered by it? No, but other people paying this is a $70 game out the bat in regards to Steam, PlayStation Network.
I'd be furious if I pay this amount of money for a specifically physical version that I can play in the middle of the bushveld and I can play it offline on the moon, whatever, and I pop it in and it says, okay, let's download.
Which is literally a thing, ladies and gentlemen. People forget that there are countries out there that don't have solid internet connections or unlimited cap to their data packages and stuff like that. So this is actually a lot of countries out there, not just like 5 or 6, there's a lot. This is actually a really big deal. Like you said, Nick, going home, you bought it, you spent quite a lot of money on getting this, you whack it into your console, and say you haven't got internet that day, or you're running out with your cap, you cannot play the game.
That's right.
That is such a... That's, like you said, it isn't consumer-centered. It's wrong.
As an adult with my own adult money, and I'm able to make decisions like this that could help me in the future. I can maybe decide, okay, this month, this is what the cap I'm spending on. But if I'm 15... and I get Doom the Dark Ages, which legally I'm not allowed to play.
I'm about to say, that's a bit dodgy, but we all did
I can't make a decision for the household that I'm spending the monthly data cap on downloading Doom the Dark Ages.
Exactly. People don't understand that that's genuinely a concern in a lot of countries. We get that America and Europe and everywhere else has got this unlimited broadband and it's great and it's fantastic.
Third world countries exist.
Yeah, they really do, and they're getting screwed by these companies in that regard. And it isn't fair. It really isn't fair to them. And $70 is such a large amount of money. I know lots of people brush that off, that $70, but $70 is a lot. And to go home, I can see it. They must have been so pissed. It isn't right. And again, like I said, value for money wise in regards to that and some of the bugs. And I didn't score it great on value for money. I thought this is a game I would say, wait for the sales. Wait for it to go to like 40, maybe 50. Because it will. There's an inevitable to it. This will continue selling. This, of course, will be on lots of people's radar. buying it off the gate is probably not the way to go.
I would agree.
Go on.
But I wouldn't say necessarily wait for the sales, because I think with the quality, but I mean, this is no secret. Your value for money and my value for money differs.
Yeah, very much
I
so.
would say wait until the majority or all of the bugs are fixed.
Yeah. Then it's worth 70?
60.
Yeah, see, there we go. That's fine. I'll take that. $10 discount. I'm happy with that.
Yes, because this is absolutely and this is going to sound corny, the Doom experience.
Yeah, it's true. It is a good game. It is a solid,
if that's what you're after,
game.
You will find tons of value in this package.
Yes, exactly. And again, with all the horrible games releasing in the world that we know as gaming, this is a solid game. It is, like I said, 70 too much for me, again, because like you said, I'm more of a narrative, less of a gameplay type of fella.
Yes.
And with all and again, that 85 megabytes kind of just rubs me the wrong way.
Of course, it
again,
should.
The PC version, it is very hard with all the, like I said, with all the different architectures to all the different PCs out there to make a game that works on all of them. But then you will get reminded of Expedition 33. I'm sure a lot of systems had problems with it, but very few had crashes and real big problems with it. And so if they're able to do it, then ID should be able to make a more stable, version of their game so it doesn't rip.
Yes.
Yeah, the $70 and those things, just I cannot give it value for money yet, like you said. If it does fix all those things and it does later become more stable, I'd be happy with 50 to 60. That 70 is just too much for me right now.
It's because it's a lot of money.
It is.
It's because $70 is a lot of money.
And of course, games going up to 80 soon because everyone's going to follow Nintendo.
Okay, let's end the episode.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I'm going to end the episode before we get into $80 games because that's just
too long.
egregious.
Yeah, we're going on a rant on that one.
Jeez.
So what do we score this bad boy then in the end?
Our scores for Doom: The Dark Ages enter the battlefield in the middle of hell. It's fighting this demon. They're fighting that demon. These demons are piling on top of our scores. After a couple of weeks of fighting, it sounds very, very exaggerated.
It is.
One score remains on top of a pile of demon corpses. It's no longer a score. This score has turned into a man. And this man is the letter grade rating of...
It's hard for you to say, right?
I don't want to say it. C+.
Yeah. Again, there's going to be so many people who are like, what, C+? Are you joking? Because, this is Doom. It's again, the only reason, and I think it was mainly me in this regard, I scored it low was...
Well, I mean, I scored it low for narrative as well.
Yeah. So again... Like everything, you got to say everything with a pinch of salt. This is our review of the game for our preferences. I am a narrative guy. Nick over there is more of a gameplay loop. Likes a good narrative. And again, if you like this style of game, it's an A. If this is your type of thing, if you've been following Doom, if you're a first-person shooter, all these aspects could bring this game to be an A for you.
Exactly.
But it's a C+ to us. If they fix those issues in regards to performance and stuff, I think this is an
territory. Easy.
Exactly.
Easy B territory.
Exactly. But we can't, with good conscience, give it that score yet because it's not a fully complete game. It's just not.
Unfortunately.
It doesn't work.
And it's also their own fault.
Agreed. Yeah. You can't blame anything but them. They themselves. You're exactly right. It's not like
Take that, Bethesda.
So yeah, it's a C+.
We love you, Bethesda.
But it's a C+ for now. I can imagine a lot of this gets fixed like in the next 6 months or something, or when the Game of the Year edition comes out with the DLCs and stuff like that. I bet you this will be a really stable version of the game, and then it's going to be up there.
Just fix the bugs, because I'm of the opinion that this is a good game.
Yes, agreed. I think it is. It's broken at the moment, but it is. It's one of those good games. It's a really good fun game. Which again, with the world we live in, there's a lot of really bad games. This one is up there. This is a good one.
Yeah, don't play the bad games, please.
Exactly, you should be supporting the good games, and I think everyone should give this game a go.
Arcade.
Of course,
please.
I think everyone should. would pick up this game. Everyone should play this game. Everyone should give it a go.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to say the same. And you should also go listen to Critical Arcade on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on YouTube, go listen on the podcast platforms or whatever, and leave a review and do all those good things. There's some kisses.
Like I said, yeah, that's you're very close.
Ignore the kisses. Let's focus on where we can follow Dave.
Well, you can find me out and about, but if you do follow me, I've actually became quite friends with Creed, the big blob guy, and he actually gave me that technology in regards to put that little yellow thing in people's chests and control them within, this is the power they control. The Slayer, a godlike human. I now have that ability to do it for people, so if you do come and see me, I will put some electrically yellowy sphere thing into your chest and make you fight all the people that I am too skinny and small to fight. You'll have to go against all the behemoth people that I don't like and I want you to fight for me. So if that's your spiel, you want a good fight, by all means come along and I will control you like my little muscles.
At the start of the game, the Creed maker gave Doomslayer a shotgun. Will you be giving whoever follows you a shotgun too? No,
I will give them a spork.
Okay,
they will get a little spork, and that is it. That's as far as
one of those plastic ones that break instantly.
Of course, yeah. If you're good enough, you'll make something out of that. You'll go far. But if you don't, maybe not follow me, or you don't get.
Don't follow Dave. Dave, how would you tell us what have we got lined up for next week? I'm so excited.
Well, by all accounts, we gave you a little hint at the beginning of this episode in regards to a Bethesda release in the last few weeks. So what
could it have been?
Sorry?
What could it have been, Dave?
I know, right? It's so difficult. I'm sure most of you know, it's all been over the news, and it was a good shadow drop out of nowhere, so everybody loves that. We get to play Elder Scrolls 4? I forget which one it is. Oblivion, 4. The remaster. Is it 4? It is 4,
It is 4. It is 4. I can't believe it. We had the first one, then we had Arena, Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim.
And Nick's never played Oblivion before, which is crazy. He has never played it.
My computer was too shitty to play Oblivion. I only got a PS3 when Skyrim came around.
That's fine.
So I missed Oblivion completely. This is my first run around the track.
So we get to have a nice view from a newbie, and myself, of course, put hundreds of hours in the original Oblivion. So I'm very and a veteran. I very much
like the majority of our episodes.
Yes, that's very true. I'm just obviously a higher level of gamer than Nick over there. I'm also a lot older than him by all accounts.
Refute that.
So yeah, it's going to be exciting. Like I said, Oblivion, great game, lots of memories from the original, and I look forward to Nick's new memories with the remasters, see what it looks like.
Oh yes. If you'd like to hear any of those, tune in next week. And we'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.